Succession fans, we are bringing you good news. After a very long 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, everyone's favorite HBO show has already announced a new release date for its 3rd season. On October 17th, we will finally be able to find out what happened following Kendall Roy's refusal to become the scapegoat to the Waystar Royco scandals. After a cliffhanger that left us staring slack-jawed at the screen, we have finally been able to catch a few glimpses of the next installment of Succession, thanks to a trailer that proves that the Roy family still has a few more battles to wage. Although it's clear that the show's 3rd season will tackle the duel of wits between patriarch Logan and his son Kendall, we still don't know how that will affect the other members of the household. Things are especially tense since young Shiv Roy was poised to become the next leader of the company, but Kendall's betrayal might mean the tides will turn against anybody who remains loyal to Logan. Plus, Shiv's husband is still in a risky position after his appearance at the trial, and her former boss, Senator Gill, seems very intent on destroying everything the media and entertainment conglomerate stands for. If everything we've said before makes absolutely no sense to you, you clearly got some binge watching to do. For the time being, let's just focus on Siobhan Shiv Roy and the amazing actress that brings her to life. Sarah Snook has definitely made a name for herself playing Logan's only daughter. She is every bit as scheming and self-centered as her father, and although she is supposedly much more liberal than he is, she's still a power-hungry mastermind that will stop at nothing to get what she wants. That's more than enough to make her dad happy, for sure, and it's a tough role to do justice to, but the Australian actress passes with flying colors. As we wait to discover every new scheme and strategy in the Roy's playbook, let's learn a bit more about the lady that has managed to become one of TV's best and most popular stars right now. Keep watching to find out 5 things you probably didn't know about Sarah Snook. Oh, and after enjoying this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to our channel. We're gearing up for a new season of Succession, so there's a lot more content on the way. If you want to stay updated on our latest videos, hit the bell icon as well. That way, you'll get a notification every time we've got something new for you. You won't regret it. Number 5. She made it big in Australia before taking Hollywood. Nearly everyone in the Succession cast has a pitch-perfect American accent, but there are more than a few actors who aren't from the US. And Sarah Snook is one of them. She's from Adelaide in South Australia, and she became a pretty well-known actress in her home country before she set her sights on Hollywood. She had humble origins. Her father was a salesman, and her mother was a provider for elder care facilities. Despite her lack of connections in show business, Sarah was determined to succeed on stage, so she studied drama in high school and earned a BFA in acting at Australia's own National Institute of Dramatic Arts. After performing in more than a few plays in Sydney, she got cast in film and television roles, earning a few awards by the most prestigious Australian film institutions. Most notably, she received a Best Actress in a Supporting Role award for her role in the 2015 film These Final Hours. It was only after securing her reputation in her native land that she decided to fly across the ocean, inspired by fellow Aussie actress Cate Blanchett, whom she admires. Nowadays, she's so busy traveling back and forth that she basically lives out of a suitcase. Despite that, she makes sure to put some seashells and a painting of an Australian beach on her bedside table wherever she goes. She's a bit like Shiv in that sense. No matter where she goes, she never forgets her roots. Number 4. Steve Jobs, Black Mirror, and inspired by the Justin Bieber poses. Although Shiv Roy is definitely the role that made her well known to a popular audience, Sarah Snook has already performed roles on several high-profile film and TV projects. Her credits include substantial parts in films like Steve Jobs and The Glass Castle. She was also featured on Netflix's premier sci-fi dystopian series Black Mirror. However, she admits that her most challenging role came when she played a transgendered man in the film Predestination. She did a lot of research to get a sense of what it is to be a man and the different ways teenage boys express their masculinity. In an interview, she mentioned that looking at teenage pop stars like Justin Bieber striking masculine poses was one of the inspirations for her role in the film. Despite succeeding at such a challenging role, she confessed that she thought that the role of Shiv Roy was way out of her reach. She decided to audition as a bit of a lark, agreeing to do it just because she could see her friends in LA. As we know now, the story turned out very differently, and Sarah became Siobhan Roy. Number 3. The influence of her self-sufficient grandma and great-aunt. As we mentioned, Snook's family doesn't have any ties to show business, so she had to forge her own path to stardom. However, she wasn't the first member of her family to take a liking to the performing arts. As it turns out, Sarah's grandmother lived in London in the 1930s and she worked as a theater actress. However, that's far from the only strong and self-sufficient woman in the Snook family. Sarah has admitted the importance of the influence of her great-aunt, who is already 90 years old. She also studied drama in London when she was around 20 years old, and she decided to try her hand at the theater again when she was much older. This time though, it seems she wrote a one-woman show about the wives and mistresses of important men in history. It's pretty clear that, when it came to finding inspiration to play a forceful and independent woman, Sarah knew where to look. Number 2. She has suffered from anxiety and often felt like they'd fire her. Sarah Snook's lack of confidence about getting the role of Shiv Roy is not as surprising when you consider that she suffered from so-called actor anxiety. Despite her huge success, Sarah confessed that, during her first few months of filming the show, she often felt like she was gonna get fired. This probably stems from the distress that every actor suffers from once in a while, especially when the going gets tough and there's a string of failed auditions. Most notably for Sarah, she was rejected from a substantial role back in 2011. She was in talks to become the Lisbeth Salander for the David Fincher adaptation of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Given the size of the project, it's easy to imagine that the audition process was grueling. As you probably know, the role ended up going to Rooney Mara, so it makes sense that Sarah would keep her guard up and take nothing for granted. When the time came for her to move to Hollywood though, she might have been a tad too prejudiced. She thought she'd hate the superficial attitude of show business society, but she eventually found her place and a lot of good people who helped her out. Nowadays, she's successful enough that she can enjoy the glitz and glamour of Tinseltown. Plus, playing the daughter of a billionaire on Succession might have taught her how to enjoy the finer things in Hollywood life. Number 1. She's upfront about politics, but not so much about her relationships. One of Shiv's most noticeable attributes on Succession is her sincerity when it comes to all things political. She's not afraid to get down in the mud and argue about politics with her siblings or even her tyrannical father, and it turns out Sarah is pretty like her character in this regard. When the 2020 US presidential election approached, Snook made it clear that Donald Trump should not be re-elected, and she stated her support for current President Joe Biden. Unfortunately, Sarah's upfront attitude regarding her political views doesn't translate to openness when it comes to discussing her relationships. We know she dated fellow Australian musician Angus MacDonald for 8 years since 2010, but the couple eventually split up amicably around the time she got cast as Shiv. She seems to be happily single now, so any of us could become the real-life Tom Wambsgans. Well, that's our video about the heiress to the Roys, Succession star Sarah Snook. If you feel we might have left anything important out, don't hesitate and leave us a comment in the section below. While you're at it, don't forget to like this content and subscribe to our channel to show your support. Also, remember to hit the bell icon. You'll get a notification every time there's some new video for you. We keep updating the channel with more info about the Roy family and all your other favorite TV and film celebrities, so you'll be glad you did. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!